Hi everyone, I am back in my sort of den here in Mumbai working on the videos and other stuff. But for 2 days I was in Meghalaya and I was really amazed by what was happening there. There was so much action, so many things happening. The chess cult, the chess scene is growing, and behind all of this, one man stands out. He is IAS officer Swapnil Tembe, very young guy, 35 years old only, and he is starting a chess revolution step by step. The first thing he did was he started a chess park in Tura, in the Garo Hills in Meghalaya, and I got to see it. But I did many things there. I went to a chess tournament, I did a workshop, I interacted with youngsters, I went to a school, I met the chief minister of Meghalaya, and I'll be making a separate vlog. But one thing which stood out for me in this entire journey was getting to know more about Swapnil, the person, how he was, how he functions, and what is the life of an IAS officer. You know, I've always wanted to know that, and here I got a chance to know more about it. So maybe this video is not all about chess. It's about a man who's dedicated his life to public service, to uplifting the community, the society, and I think you will learn a lot. And if you are planning to do IAS exams or give UPSC examinations, then this one is definitely a gem for you. So I'm here with Swapnil. Hello Swapnil.
Hi Sagar.
Swapnil, I was in Meghalaya in Tura for last 2 days and I had an amazing time, and I saw the work that you've done here about chess, the park that is created and so on, chess park, and I wanted to sort of understand your life, not from the perspective of chess alone, but also I was always curious, you know, how does an IAS officer function, how does one become an IAS officer, and many such things. So firstly, when and where were you born?
I was born in 1987 and in Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh.
And how was your childhood like?
I was a very quiet kid, running after my mother, and I was good. Maybe it's just genetic that I was good in. I never used to study, but I used to somehow, whatever in the classroom was taught, I had 100% attention at that time, so I remembered everything. So I never had to study, but I did well in the academics. And then when I was in class 12, my father was a, by the way, maths teacher.
Achha.
So I think that's come naturally that my maths was very good.
In the same school where you were?
In fact, there's a place called Katni near Jabalpur.
Oh,
So, yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Because Niklesh, who is part of ChessBase India, was from Katni.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I studied there in KB
Acha.
Katni, and all my class 1 to 12. And then I had no clue what happens after class 12. So somebody came and told there's something called IIT JEE, and you are good in maths, so I think you'll qualify. So then I was sent to Kota, and
I was sent to Kota in the sense.
I mean, in the sense it was not a conscious choice, because unfortunately in those days we never used to think much about career and all that. So we just went with the flow, and I got there 1 year. I studied in Bansal, and then I got through IIT KGP. So 4 years of engineering, mechanical, manufacturing sciences. And at that point, I mean, 4 years in college, I mean, they just run through, so you never, really have an idea what's happening.
But at that point, when you were doing like IIT engineering,
Right.
what was going through your mind? Like, what were your ambitions like at that point?
I think IIT, I mean, good or bad, the thing is there's so many activities going on. So really, I mean, you can't, studies are there, of course, but other than that also extracurricular, which is I'm very thankful for, because before that I was very kind of reserved and not opening up and all. But those 4 years at IIT, I think, changed a lot in me. And so we were busy, and those 4 years, how they went, I have no idea. And it's just within a second it feels like 4 years are over. And unfortunately 2009 when I graduated, it was recession. So at that time, I mean, whatever placement company came, I just sat and I got in Deloitte, US Deloitte Consulting.
Okay.
So and then at that point of time, many people were saying whatever you're getting, you take and stick to it, because you're not gonna get another job. This is a bad time to pass out and all those things. So till that point, frankly speaking, I never thought what I wanted to do. I just went with the flow, and only when I started working in Deloitte, then I saw that what I'm doing, I mean, no offense to Deloitte, but what I'm doing was very repetitive, and I think I wanted to do something else. So I started thinking.
What was your role there in Deloitte?
I was a business analyst in information management.
Okay.
Working with those tools, data to ETL tools and all this. Yeah.
I'm a CA.
Okay.
And Deloitte is one of the big
Yes.
4 firms.
Yes, of
And
course.
so it's considered to be very, very big.
Yeah.
And also I think it's very people who get a job there have a very lucrative life, like from the point of view of salary, but they have to work very hard,
Right.
like long hours.
Yes.
Did that happen to you as well?
Yes, but that was not a. I mean, the problem was what I was doing was not really intriguing me. I mean, I want to do something creative, something which directly helps people, or something more involved with the development discourse or something like that. So it was mostly on the screen and sitting job. So that all these factors made me think, is this what you want to do in life? So the answer was clearly no. And then I said, now what next? So then I started thinking, I mean, couple of things which I really liked was to be of some use to people, like help people, and then administration, managing things. And so if you combine that, that's like public administration. So I figured, okay, yeah, this is something. And in public administration, the most diverse and most challenging and the most sought after thing is IAS, UPSC. So I researched about it, and I started reading public administration. I enrolled myself in a distance master's course in public administration in IGNOU Open University.
Okay.
So I started doing MA in public administration already while I was, and I started preparing while I was in Deloitte. Those were my father was not well those days. I mean, he was undergoing cancer treatment. So, I mean, really, we were all a little bit this thing. So I couldn't really leave my job and everything. I mean, that financial thing was also there to support. So I continued for 2 years in Deloitte. But then after 2 years, unfortunately in 2010, my father passed away. And after that, I continued for some more time, and then I quit. And then I went to Delhi for starting my preparation.
So when you decided to do this and you wanted to help the community, the society,
Right.
What is the difference between becoming an entrepreneur and starting something of your own and doing something like this? I know that there's a huge difference in the way it's structured, but from a perspective of did this thought come to your mind, okay, I can be an entrepreneur, do something on my own?
Yes, I mean, it was there, but and it's still, I mean, that conflict is, or that that other option is always there. Even now, sometimes I feel that these things be done in a better way? If you can start a social entrepreneurship, if I'm interested in education, for example, so I can start, but maybe I can impact some areas. But the thing is, the system is so big, and little minor things, if we can improve in the system, the incremental effect of that is tremendous. Right, I mean, like currently I am in a director school education Meghalaya. All the schools, like we have roughly around 15,000 schools, so that scale is huge. So if we can, the existing systems, if we can tweak, if we can make it better, that is going to impact all 10 lakh students who are studying. So the impact, maybe it's not very direct, maybe because you're not in the field, you are working from somewhere in the headquarters, so that's not very tangible to you, but eventually it makes a lot of difference. Of course, it's much more challenging and there are many factors to it, but I think the scale of it is what makes it different. Right. Of course, as an entrepreneur also you can do that, so no, but at that point maybe I felt that this was a better choice, or this was not better, but this was something which I wanted. People may choose differently. Yeah.
So at what age were you at that point when you left Deloitte and started studying for?
I was 23.
Just 23.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were very young at that point, and then you started studying. You started studying for preparing for UPSC.
So did you go to this very famous place where people study for
Yes,
UPSC?
yes. You know, for all those who have seen aspirants, it's like I went there and I was in Mukherjee Nagar. So there are two places, major, old Rajendra Nagar and Mukherjee Nagar. So I was in ALS coaching, and I was in Mukherjee Nagar.
Okay, can you tell us a bit about the environment there? Because I saw that the aspirants, I like the series a lot. It felt like you were inside a bubble where everyone's just trying to crack UPSC.
Yes. In fact, many of those aspects shown are very real, and if you see those areas, they're full of bookshops, papers, notes, Xerox. It's all that, and then yes, in a small span of I think 1 or 2 kilometers, there are like 500 coachings there. So you can imagine the scale, and lakhs of people are there, and everyone is talking, discussing. Even those who are selling pani puri and everything, they are also discussing, social matters, social issues, along with students, drinking chai and all. It's a fascinating. I think it's the environment which makes it real different, because of course people can now prepare from their home. UPSC is not something like IIT, right, where you need certain IQ, or when you need certain assistance solving certain this thing and all. It's basically a little bit of everything. So it's knowledge. So there is a syllabus, and then you have to read it. It takes a long, like maybe 1.5 year, 2 year, but then people can do it at home. Why you go to Delhi? Maybe for the environment, and to be among the best, to know where you stand. So maybe that's the only thing, and it maybe helps to get there faster. That's the only thing.
What is the syllabus like?
Everything. So UPSC is everything, like a jack of all trades.
So you need to know from sports
everything
to politics.
Science, economy, history, geography, everything, current affairs, international affairs, everything which is happening.
So any question can come, but there must be papers, right? Different types
there
of
are papers. There are like general studies, 4 papers are there.
Okay.
So general studies, as the name suggests, it's like literally everything. And then there are like, of course, there's an essay paper, and then you have to take a optional. Earlier there were 2 optional, now it's only 1 optional. So
I think
chose,
people really keep on thinking, right, which optional to take.
Yeah, so I have a very nice video for it. So
On your channel, yes.
On my YouTube channel, how to select optional.
Why is it so important to select a good optional?
Because there are 2 papers, and it's worth quite numbers if you total it in the main exam. And the thing is, if you take some subject just because it is your grad subject, you may not be passionate about it. Like I am a mechanical engineer, I could have taken that, but I am really not into it, and I'm not passionate to study about it. So if you are, and this is one of the toughest exam in the sense that the number of seats is very less, and the number of people giving is very high. So you have to ace the exam to get IAS, especially you are from the unreserved category. So that optional can play because general studies is like a gamble. So some you will know, some you will not know. So that balances out for everyone.
Okay.
But where you can score maybe a little better than others if you have a grip on the optional subject. So that is why it's important to score.
Which one did you choose?
Public administration. As I said, I started reading about public administration, and it got me interested. Yeah. And I personally feel, again, a personal opinion, this does not mean that you should also take public administration. It means that it's the most relevant subject, I feel, because eventually you're going to do public administration.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like you're going to do that.
Yeah.
So might as well study it. So
but
you did.
But still, I would not recommend that, because you are more interested in sociology, maybe geography interests you more. So you should take.
Sports also is an option in that.
Sports?
Yes.
No, sports is not that.
Okay. Oh, I would have chosen. So when the exams came, you studied for around a year for it?
Yeah. So when I left Deloitte, I went to Delhi. I joined the coaching. The coaching was for 8 to 9 months. So for that period, I was only in the coaching. But just after that, I thought, to stay in Delhi, you have to, because it's very expensive, all those things. So I thought I should start working. And if I am to give this exam, the best work would have been like either to correct, answer, because there's so many coaching, so they want people to check the answers and all that. So, and then at that time, UPSC introduced CSAT exam. So since I was from the IIT, so my maths was good. So, I was given that opportunity to, check or teach or correct some CSAT. And since I was already reading public administration, the teacher there, he saw something in me and he said, okay, you are good, you check all the answers. So I was checking others' answer scripts. So the thing worked is that, like, when you write an answer, you feel you have written the best answer and you are awesome and you know everything. But when you read 100 other answers, you get 50 more points. So then I was doing that every day, literally for the next 1 year.
Wow.
So I was getting so many more points. So when I wrote answers, I stole everyone's point. That's how my answers became better, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, so I continued. Then I just gave another exam which is called CAPF. So I got selected in that first, which is called Centrally Armed Police Forces. All these ITBP, CRPF, BSF, you join as assistant commandant. That's also an officer rank. So I got through and I thought, okay, may as well experience while giving, because there's no point sitting. Because my base preparation was already done, so all I had to do was incrementally, little prepare. So I joined as assistant commandant in ITBP 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long were you there?
1 year. So
and
next year
how
I
was
got
that
into
experience?
IRS. Yeah, ITBP is Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, and which basically the mandate is to guard the India-China border.
And were you wearing like police uniform and
No,
so?
I was in training because first year in training. So I was just training, and then next year I got into IRS.
What was the work there like at the ITBP? Sorry, I wanted to...
No, because I was in the training mostly. But work is basically, for some point I was posted in one of the battalions in Haldwani, near Nainital. So the work is basically, you're a company commander. So there are 100 soldiers, you can say, under you, and then you are posted, your company, 100 people, is posted somewhere in the border, and then you're giving the guarding duty. So it can be a very, because ITBP India-China border, which is mostly sub-zero temperatures in the ice and all that. So it's very difficult thing, staying away from the family and all. So what we see in the movies and all these things. So it is basically guarding and patrolling duty. Then also sometimes you get election duties and all, where you take your company to some election duty in some state. And so that is the role. But mostly next year I got into Indian Revenue Service. So I left ITBP and joined IRS Customs.
And there you were there for?
1 year again, because next year I got into IAS.
So all this, till this point you have not given your UPSC exams?
No, so IRS is through UPSC.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that CAPF...
That is another exam.
That you gave and you got into this ITB.
Yeah. So in the first attempt, I couldn't clear the civil services exam.
Okay.
I cleared the CAPF exam. So I joined there. Second attempt, UPSC, I got Indian Revenue Service. My rank was 300 something. And then in the third attempt, I got 84th rank. So then I got IAS.
This is 84 out of a million people, something like that.
Yeah.
10 lakh people.
More than, yeah.
My God. That is so tough.
Yeah, tough it is there. But yeah, I mean, of course, there's a component of luck because everyone studies hard. But yeah.
How many people get to be IAS officers out of this?
I think
that's
now,
more than a million.
In our batch, like 150 every year.
150.
150. But as I said, there's a reservation. So if you're unreserved, then half of it.
75 people.
Yeah.
You have to be in top like that.
Yeah.
This looks so tough.
Yeah. Because the first preference is generally IAS for everyone. Then they take other services, IPS, IRS, IFS, and all that.
Right. So that's why. Would you say like IAS, because you also cracked IIT?
Yeah.
And you also cracked IAS, which are maybe top two. I mean, IAS or UPSC exams. Top two toughest exams in India. Would you say which one is tougher?
I would say JEE, because it requires certain flair. You need to have that IQ. I mean, no offense, but you need to have that flair. I mean, you need to love maths, you need to love physics, chemistry. That science. Not everyone has that thing. So for this JEE exam, you need to have IQ above a certain level. Otherwise, it's very difficult. UPSC is all hard work. Anyone can do it. You just need to work hard.
But you also need to consume a lot in UPSC.
Yeah, so smart work. Basically, because there's so much, you need to work smart. Yeah. Read smart. I mean, what to read, what to leave, because there's so much. So, you need to do it smartly.
Would you say that if someone cracks IIT, that person has knowledge which is very of some topic, like basically engineering related. But if someone cracks UPSC, that person is just very smart overall in life.
A generalist.
Everything.
He will have view on everything.
Right.
So the whole preparation is a great learning experience. So that's what I tell everyone. That even if one doesn't clear, that the whole process of those 2-3 years, 4 years or whatever is a great learning experience, and it definitely will help you crack other exams, or whatever you do in life, it will help you basically. It's a great learning. I mean, like, no regrets. I mean, even if I was not had not cleared it, perhaps it's a great learning experience in whatever I would have done.
So I'm sure that on your YouTube channel you have given hints on or tips on how one can prepare well. For I think you have an entire playlist for that.
So, I get this question a lot, so I thought I should make a playlist, and I have condensed it into 10 episodes of 30 minutes each, and they are basically for how to prepare on your own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because those who can afford coaching and all, they don't need this. But there are many people, especially I'm working in Meghalaya, rural and remote areas, they cannot afford to go out of the state. So they used to ask me a lot. So every time I cannot tell them in detail. So I made a course for them. I chalked down the important thing, and then that course is available. Playlist 10 series, very condensed, 30 minutes each, and that sums up everything. How can you prepare sitting at home?
So if from that 10 episodes you had to give like 2 or 3 most important tips that you have given, what would they be?
Start reading newspapers from now. If you have decided you want to give UPSC, now you just go and buy paper and read now, and do it for the next whatever years. To read 2-3 papers, good papers, and then read NCRTs, because NCRTs from class 6 to 12th, they make the foundation of UPSC, and start reading non-fiction books about India. They're very that wonder that was India, discovery of India, before India, after Gandhi, India after independence, India struggle to independence, all these books and all that. Basically start reading, eclectic reading, all kind of reading and all that.
What was your viewpoint about India as a country before doing UPSC, and after you did it change? And now, of course, now that you have exploded on the field, done work.
India, I mean, the idea of nation has always fascinated me. I mean, nation is something, it's an idea in your head, and then that brings us all together. So that idea is intact, and what has changed is the perspective of development. What is development, and should the development be from top down? Should it be a forced model, or it should be bottom up approach, like when you ask people? Because the Western idea of development, or what we see in urban, basically urbanization, is the essentially concretization of the whole nature. So that's not really a sustainable model, and I feel people may not require it. It's something which is forced upon them, that lifestyle, they go, all that creating of all this accessories, the tertiary infrastructure which is created in the form of malls and this and that. Maybe people are content. I always used to think that development is making high-rise buildings and making this and that fancy civil infrastructure and all that. But when I interacted with people living in rural areas and all, they're very content, extremely content in life. One can say that they are ignorant, and that's why they are content. But I think that choice has to be given. That let us provide them the options. That these are the the world has reached here, and these are the options. But if they choose to stay with their current lifestyle, I think that should be allowed. I mean, it should not be a forced model of development. So development should mean basically what people want, and this will differ from state to state. This will differ from district to district. In fact, this will differ from village to village. I mean, I have seen that also. Some villages are very, as a community, they want to progress, they want to this, that. Some villages are complacent, they want to focus on environment, they want to live in a balanced life and all that. So for me, the perspective has changed, that let us ask people what they want. Let us not have our own fancy ideas of development, what you want to do as an IAS officer. Let us ask people, and then do what they want as a public servant, because you are supposed to do what they want,
right?
Not what you want.
but often people are not aware, right, what they want, or when it differs from place to place, then there's no sort of there's homogeneity in the entire nation, right? Everyone wants it their own way. Wouldn't that lead to chaos?
I think chaos, I mean, if you've seen Game of Thrones, there's a very famous dialogue on this, chaos is just a ladder and climb is all there is. So chaos gives us opportunity, and in fact this variety of view, because India, what we celebrate about India most is this diversity. And if you just have one single model of trying to make it a homogeneous model or something, I mean, I think India will lose its identity also. So that is another thing. Yes, it's a challenging thing, but my point here is we should take into confidence people, have consultations before taking up big projects and all. Public consultation should be there. That's what they want to do. Like this options are available. What they want to do. So this just that, and I'm sure with after having deliberations and all, everyone will come to some kind of conclusion. Of course,
but it's a long drawn out thing, right? Instead of you saying let's do this, you can actually enforce it. You are getting people together, but what you are hoping
so that's the
for,
idea of democracy, right? We are not our neighbors,
right?
We are India, we are a democracy. So let's implement democracy.
So when you do this way, then the implementation becomes smoother because everyone is on board with the thing.
Yes, there's no challenges. In fact, in public administration, we used to read a very important concept that democracy will be slow, will be full of challenges, but is the best form of governance. I mean, of course, we have seen models where I don't want to name countries where it's an autocratic government. They take decisions, they implement. Within 1 week, they can do this, they can do that. They come up with all kind of policies. Yes, it's faster, but are people happy? That is the question. Is people's will being implemented? That is the question. So yes, India, I mean, things move very slow. People, always complain government things moves very slow. But that's the thing of democracy. We have to take care of all sections, and that's the way it should be. Maybe it will be slow, but I think we will take the best decisions.
You are talking about democracy not just in terms of election of but for every single decision.
Yes.
Which is
big decision.
Yes.
I mean, huge. We can not ask people for every small thing.
True.
But big things.
Right now we are going through this road from Meghalaya to Assam, and you decided after you became an IAS or that to be here, to work here. How did that come about? Was it your decision? How did it happen?
In a way, because when you are selected, you have to give options, preferences. So based on the rank, based on your the vacancies which are there, and based on some other factors, you get allotted a cadre. So of course, people, there is home cadres is to be preferred, but home cadre, then there are some ratios, like they have to maintain insider, outsider and all, and my rank was not good enough, and which I am thankful for now that I am not. So it's easier to work in a state where you're not from, and being to be neutral, because for obvious reasons in your own state you'll know so many acquaintances, so it will be difficult to take neutral decisions for the larger good.
Right.
So that's why the idea of this working in a different state, I think it works well.
So you got posted first in Meghalaya?
So it's a joint cadre, Assam, Meghalaya.
Okay.
Yeah. So our training was in Assam. I was posted in Tezpur, Sonitpur district, and then I was sent as a SDM to Dadengre in the year 2017, Meghalaya, and since then I have been here.
How exactly does this training happen? Do you think that this entire thing where you gave an exam of UPSC, became an IAS officer, then you trained, and now you're working on the ground, is this the best system that is there for finding the public servants for India? Because you guys are the backbone of our country, and is this the best that can be done, or you think that there is scope for improvement here?
I think the written part of the exam is good. The syllabus, the kind of questions which are coming, and thankfully now it has become more analytical, in the way that earlier it was more factual, that you need to remember certain facts and figures and all those rote learning things, but now it is very conceptual, and analytical. I mean, that clarity has to be there, and so it's very good to that level. When it comes to interview, I feel it has to be more elaborate, and maybe it has to be also followed by some kind of group discussions, so that you get the right people in the service. Because frankly speaking, the public service, it's a 24/7 thing, and you have to be like committed in the service. You cannot just come into the service only for the perks and for the pride of it. I mean, you'll have to give a lot. There will be sacrifices from your family side, from your personal life, all those things, and you should have the passion to work for the people. And to ascertain that, I think a simple interview is not enough. I think the way it happens in this NDA and stuff, I think we need to go for a little more level of group discussion, so that we can get the right people who are really committed to make that those changes on the field.
Yeah, you said about sacrifice and doing different things because you have to change from the place where you are staying and so on. What are some of the challenges you have faced since you started working here?
Yeah, I mean, one is that all I have grown up in MP, in my home state, and then when you have to shift everything, because I don't have siblings or anything, so of course my mother, after her retirement, she had to join me. So that is one challenge. But yeah, I mean, Meghalaya as a state fortunately aligns with what I am, and I love nature. I love quiet places. I love this peaceful and beautiful place which we are in. I love football, which this state is crazy about. I'm into running, which again there's a lot of scope, and then there's a lot of work-life balance in this cadre. So everything aligned so much that I feel I really didn't feel there are any challenges. In fact, I love it, and I wouldn't go anywhere else. But yeah, I mean, the one obvious challenge is that making that move from your existing ecosystem. I think for most people that will be because maybe their spouses are working somewhere, their families cannot move. In my case, of course, my mother had to move, but in many cases the families will not move to the place where the officer is posted. So that is one obvious challenge. Language can be a challenging thing, but thankfully in our academy we are taught. So for example, Assam, Meghalaya, Kada, we learned Assamese. So when I was posted, then also I was able to speak. When I was posted in Garo Hills, I made a special effort to learn Garo, and I am able to speak Garo. And now I'm posted in Khasi Hills, so again I have to learn another language, which I'll definitely try. So these are the few. I mean, other than that, I mean, I think it's mostly same things everywhere. I mean, all kinds of. There will be political pressures. There will be, expectations from the people. There will be a lot of work, and then very long hours. Conducting elections is a huge challenge. So all these are there, but yeah, I mean, you learn and you grow, and yeah, I mean, that's when you see that your efforts are helping somebody or making a difference, this is the biggest reward or the best point of the service. That satisfaction, work satisfaction is the best, and it cannot be quantified into money or salary. All these things become irrelevant. But at the end of the day, if somebody is smiling because of you, I think that all these things are totally worth.
I want to go into some of the work that you have done, which you are proud of. But before that, maybe a few words on your love life. Could you tell us about where you met your wife and how it panned out?
Yeah, I mean, we met in a coaching, and I think it was the first class, and she also, I think, was exploring the options after her graduation. Her name is Bhavna, and then she figured out UPSC is not her thing, and which is a good thing. I think people should figure out this thing, they should not do it because somebody has forced you or told you. So then she went on to do law, and she became a lawyer, and currently she is in corporate law. She's from Punjab.
And she's right now working in Delhi. Right. What are some of the projects that you are most proud of in the last? I think you've been working in Meghalaya now for 6 years.
Yes.
So what would they be?
I think one of the is something which are very close to me is called Project Star, and that's full form is School Transformation by Augmentation of Resources. So when I first came here, I saw that the education sector needs a lot of things to be done, and since there was lack of resources and all that, so I started this project with this. The main aim of this project is that whatever you could manage, use it to improve education. So for example, one of the sub projects under this was Adopt a School, where I in the first when I was posted as SDO Dadangre, I saw a school which was in a bad shape. I didn't know what to do, what schemes. At that time I was not having much knowledge, so I just at that time I was not married also, so no expenditure. So I got a salary. I thought, okay, let's donate, and so I donated 2 months of my salary. I got the school renovated, painted, benches and everything. So that started, and then I asked many other people, and our honorable CM of Meghalaya, he also adopted certain schools, and then various other officers. So this project continued for several years, and I personally have adopted like more than 6 schools now, and many people, many companies have, many foundations have come in and played their role. So this way, without any scheme, without any funding, and without any this thing, we renovated so many schools.
But this was before you were the director of education, right?
Yeah, that I just joined
very recently. So this you just took upon yourself, seeing that as a need that is out there.
It has to be done. Yeah.
So you as a IAS officer, you look at things which are needed rather than what comes under your domain only.
Yeah, other than the regular work which we are supposed to do, implement all the schemes. Of course, that's what I said, right? We have to ask our people. So when I asked those communities, everyone, we want a better school. So that was their first, okay. So, we have to do something. So since I couldn't find a way, so I, just by my side, I did it. But now, since so many people are contributing, and now we are coming up with a portal, because now I've joined education department. So soon we are launching adoptaschool.org, where anyone can adopt. Schools can upload their requirement, and the donors can see what are the requirements, and then we will connect the donors to the school. So this is gonna happen soon.
That would be epic. Amazing. What else comes to your mind as some of the things?
Another one is what we did in East Garo Hills when I was posted was this through kitchen gardens. So Meghalaya has a lot of this mortality, MMR, maternal mortality, because most of the women are anemic because of the food habits and all those things. So during delivery, a lot of deaths happen because of blood loss and all that. So what we since the children were also seen to be having this issue and all, so we thought that our Anganwadis, especially Anganwadis and schools, should have kitchen gardens. So we started with Anganwadis. We collaborated with some Krishi Vigyan Kendras and all. They provided the seeds, and these Anganwadi workers started growing vegetables.
Okay.
And because the vegetables were missing from the diet, from the kids, and all the excess vegetable they used to give to the pregnant mothers. So this, over a period of time, like 2-3 years, what we saw is that the children got healthier, and the women also, they got better. And along with few other factors like improving sub centers to do institutional delivery and all those things, it got better. The institutional delivery increased, health of mothers got better, and the deaths were a little less. So yeah, that's something which I really happy about. That's something we could do.
Wow. So would you say, from what you said, one thing was that is the main work of an IAS officer to implement the schemes of the government?
That is the fundamental.
That is the main.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. But
so even if you don't start something of your own, you just keep implementing. That's a good enough career. That's the normal career.
Yeah. So as I think famously Rajiv Gandhi once said, right? If 1 rupee is given, only 50 paisa reaches the poor and all. So that's because of the poor implementation of schemes and all that. So even if you are very much dedicated to good implementation, it will help a lot of people, because schemes, they are formed in a very nice way, but at the ground they are not implemented because of less attention, because nobody cares at that level, or nobody is doing the monitoring well. So if you monitor the implementation, that itself is going to help millions of people, and the public money will be utilized. So of course that is the primary work, but beyond that also, I mean, I personally feel there's so many issues which we need to pick up depending on the area wise, wherever you're posted.
Right.
As I said, every area will have a different problem, so you have to pick up that problem, and I think it offers a great opportunity, because when you're posted as a DC, you're looked upon as a head of the district, kind of like a father, you can say a father figure. So father has to act and correct all these issues which are wrong, right? So you have to take so it's a great opportunity, I think, when you're posted as a district collector.
So if you are a district collector, which you were in Tura,
earlier in Williamnagar, then in Tura.
and then you have to take care of all the things that are related to that.
Education, health, law and order, this and that, floods are there, natural disasters management, everything.
A lot of people would be coming to you and asking for things, right?
Yes.
It's not easy to manage. I mean, and sometimes some people come with even not good intentions.
Yes, of course.
So how do you decipher?
See, I think you have to focus on the there are a lot of negativities, unfortunately, in this world. So there are a lot of negative people who will only criticize, who will only come and complain. Yes, of course, I mean, as a district head, you have to take the complaint and see the authentic nature of the complaint, and if something can be done, that is there. But I think in your time, if you only focus on these negative things, you will not be able to do any work. So my approach will be, was and is still that there are always some good elements and good people, and you identify them and you work along with them to improve, and not to pay attention or not to get depressed or discouraged by all the negativity which is surrounding you. So just ignore the negative things, because you cannot fight it, you cannot eliminate it, you cannot do anything about it, but you can always focus on positivity, and once you do that, I think that will enhance itself, and a lot of people will get benefited. So I think that's the approach I follow in life also. I mean, if somebody some negative comments, I never read on my videos or anything. So yeah, if there is something something beneficial which I can improve, I'll take it. If there's just plain hatred, then yeah, I just neglect it.
Now, how can you switch yourself off? Because this work, I mean, time would not even be enough for this. So I mean, if I were given such a job to take care, I would go crazy, because there are so many loose ends to tie, there are so many things that are pending, so many things you have just thought this is the right way to do, and then you have depended on other people to do, and they have come back with doing something totally differently than what you wanted.
Right.
That would create a lot of agitation, right?
Yes. So yes, you have to be strong. I think that is why mentally you have to be strong, and you have to have priorities. There are 100 things which are wrong in a district, but you cannot solve all. First of all, you have to accept that fact that you are only human, and there are certain limitations to it. But then what are the priorities? If there are 100 problems, what are the priorities? And what are people's priorities? Let's understand that, and let's do our best, and then forget the rest. Do your best, basically. There's nothing else. I mean, if you keep on worrying, I don't know whether you have seen the movie Bridge of Spies. There was this wonderful scene where there's one guy who is captured for as a espionage, but he's not at fault, but he's captured. So his lawyer, his hearing is going on, and he's so cool sitting. And then the lawyer, how can you be so cool? I mean, you're you're on trial for something which you have not done. And he just says that if I worry, would it help? So I always remember this 3 words: would it help? So would worrying about things help? No. So why to worry? So yeah, that's all. I think that's the approach to life. It should be like that.
So would you say that mental training is a very key aspect of the work you do? To have a very strong mental setup?
I mean, don't want to brag, but for this job you have to have.
Right.
It's a necessity.
And do you do special work on that?
I have started. I do meditate for some time. Not maybe for 20 minutes, half an hour, everything. Yeah, that's all. Nothing else. But once you, I think it's simple enough. Once you realize that worrying does not help, it's very simple fact, but it's very difficult to bring it into your system.
Correct.
But once you accept that, then I think it's easy.
And these people with whom you have been, staying here, it's a different kind of culture, different environment. How have you felt, interacting with them?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, Meghalaya is a state whole, and I was mostly posted in Garo Hills, but yeah, I mean, the whole state is I think the best thing is the community approach to everything. I mean, the community is very strong, and they have so much love for each other. And in any event, you will see different kinds of people, different, from different fraternities and all. They all come together for a cause, and it's really wonderful, the sense of community, which we miss now in urban areas. You don't know if you're living in an apartment who is living in front of you. We don't generally, so that's kind of. But here, everyone will know everyone, and so that's what I think. I like about this most. And then of course, beautiful landscape, as you can see.
Yes.
Everywhere it's just beautiful. Wherever you go in Meghalaya, you'll be awestruck by the beauty of it. But yeah, I think the most important thing is the simplicity of the people, the community aspect, and the egalitarian nature. I mean, everyone is treated equally. So that's something which I really love. Simple, very simple people. And they are all very good in music.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. They all can play guitar. They all can sing. It's just fascinating.
I was here for 1.5 days or so, and I found the going so easy. Everyone was very relaxed. Everyone was smiling. Everyone was like, yes, we have these problems, but in the end they are smiling.
Yes.
It's
Isn't that what everyone? I mean, people who have everything, yet they have anxiety, they have stress. I mean, so what do you do with all the money if you cannot be happy? So I think that's something which we should learn from people in the villages.
Yeah, definitely. And now that you have done a corporate job, you have also done this. Do you feel like the pay or the salary is a big difference in both of these?
Yeah, I mean, maybe yes, because I remember what I was earning at Deloitte. It took me quite a while to get to the same level in in this government service. But as I said, this service is not about money. I mean, if you want money, you don't come into the public service, because it's not like really about money. It's about the work satisfaction. It's about the opportunity it gives to serve. It's the opportunity it gives to be a part of the system, because you can only change the system by being a part of it. It's very difficult to change it from outside. So yeah, it's the opportunity. It's not about the money and all that. But I think once you realize that, and once you see things rolling, and once you see when people come and thank you. I will just give one example. When I was leaving William Nagar, so one very old person, very old, he just came to DC office and just to say thank you for whatever I have done, and also the fact that I made effort to learn the local language. He just came. He's very old, and it must have been a challenge for him to come all the way to the district headquarters. So that day, I mean, I'll never forget that. So it's days like these, moments like these. So this service is totally worth it. But if you want money, don't come. It's not. Yeah.
How difficult is it? I don't understand this so well, because I have not delved in it deeply. But I believe that the services and the politicians have to work in close sync. Is that correct? That viewpoint?
Yes, I mean, there has to be a coordination, because they are the public representatives. So they have been selected by the people. So when the assembly is there, they make they legislate, and they make the policies, and they approve the policies. We are here to implement the policies. So it's like driver has, and the whole steering wheel has to be in sync, right? So otherwise the vehicle will go haywire here and there.
Just like you say that you want to take opinion of the people whom you work with,
right.
Do politicians also tend to take your or other IAS officers' opinions before going and making a decision?
Yes, of course. I mean, there are consultative meetings and everything, and analysis is done, and of course they are also constantly interacting with their constituency people and all that. So I think feedback comes from both sides, and then whatever the government decides, that is done.
You have some tattoos on your hand, and one of them here is a chess piece. And the work that you've done for chess is very, very interesting, because you don't come from a chess background and you didn't play chess so much for maybe better part of your life. So
I just started
exactly.
a year ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how did this happen?
Basically COVID times, and somehow I came across your stream along with Samay Raina, and then I was just like curious, like what is that is getting so much of traction, so let's see. So I really like the I think commentary part, and I have to admit that as a kid I never liked, maybe I don't know why it happened, but I never liked or I never tried to like chess, even though my father used to play. But I thought it was some very geeky stuff, and like, oh my god, it's too complex, and I better play cricket or football or what is this. So that, but through your streams in that time, since all were in lockdown and stuff, so I came across also. Then I read about I was just curious why so many people are getting attracted to it. So then I read about chess and what are the benefits of it and all those things, and as it improves your cognitive skills, good for memory and good for decision making and all those things. And there are many other factors, like for in the Northeast there's a drug problem, so if we want to divert attention of our youth to something else, chess is a good option. So then I immediately called the local association, which is the Garo Hills Chess Association. Some people were there already. So then I said, let's do it for the young kids. And so we did a workshop. Then we did a competition. Then I saw these people who were just learned 1 month back. Like they were so good, these kids. So I felt there's something in the maybe a genetic proclivity or proclination is there. So I thought, okay, let's do something nice for this thing. So I had this idea. I came across some movies and documentaries on chess. And also the Queen's Gambit, where I saw people in Russia, old people sitting and playing chess in streets and parks. So I thought, okay. So then I got transferred to Tura, and there was a beautiful DC park in front of my house. I was just one day sitting, what can we make it here? So then we started a chess arena, and the idea that there should be a place in the district where if I want to play chess, I'll just go there and there will be tables and somebody will be playing. So that's how the idea of chess arena was born.
And I see that it's growing.
And since I'm so fascinated, I really every day I play one game of chess. I cannot dedicate more time, but I'm trying to improve. So whatever I get passionate about, like that gets inked on me. So so this is the night, I think.
Now you are kind of
because it's the most good looking
chess
piece, I think. Yeah.
This is amazing, and I see that the people, more than whatever work has been done, I find the people in the association and everyone who's working for chess have this spring in their step now. That okay, we have you on our side, we can do more.
Yes. Of course, like as I said, if somebody from the system, if you want to change the system, you have to be inside the system, right? So if you have somebody inside the system, it's a little easier.
Absolutely. And what do you visualize yourself now as doing? You've done close to 6-7 years of service. Will you continue doing this? Are you enjoying yourself? Do you have other aims?
Absolutely. Now education, as I said, is one of the most closest, to my heart, and because education is the base to everything. If you have and by education, I just don't mean that people go to school and get a degree. Education means that we empower them to become something. We make them good citizens, who value helping others, who have compassion in their hearts, who have love for the environment, care for the environment. So if we are able to do that, only education can do that. So I'm lucky to get this post of Director Education, and I'll try to do my best to improve Meghalaya's education scenario.
There are a lot of people who say that it's not easy to change this entire education system.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a huge task.
Yeah, definitely. It'll take maybe 5-10 years, but I'm up for it. And yeah, of course, I mean, good things are difficult to achieve. That is true with many good things.
And lastly, what are the other things or interests in your life that you have apart from what you've been doing?
I am a crazy football fan, and the kind of adrenaline I get when I play football is nothing as compared to that. So I love football.
Do you have a favorite team in football?
Manchester United, because at that time, it was, I don't know if you know, I mean, there was a coach called Alex Ferguson. So he was the longest serving and the most successful ever coach. So the team he built and the kind of time we have seen under him, I mean, of course, now the team is struggling and all that. But yeah, I mean, that was some time when, he built a invincible kind of team. So that was very great. I mean, the likes of David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, Giggs, Scholes, Rooney. I mean, that team was simply phenomenal. So yeah, that is when I fell in love with that team. And you stick to, you cannot change clubs. You have to be loyal to your, club. So we are waiting next time when that happens. Yeah.
Whenever a football fan is seen, they ask this question, always, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi?
For me, it's Rooney. It's neither of them. Wayne Rooney. Yeah, because the kind of tenacity, the love for the club, and the kind of aggression I saw, the commitment to the club. I think that means, for me, the commitment and the work ethic means much more than maybe how you're performing and what the results are like. If somebody is giving his 100%, I think I love that guy. So in Wayne Rooney, I saw that tenacity. Like, this is crazy. He gave everything. So that's what I like about him. Yes, I mean, there can be, there are some specially skilled people, right? I mean, you get the skill. I mean, Messi is amazing, Ronaldo is amazing. But what I loved most about is the tenacity in Rooney. I mean, that's something which inspires me even today.
Amazing. And a lot of youngsters are going to watch this. So on a parting note, what would be your advice to them?
I think it's to the youth, that it's, first of all, it's very important to figure out what you really want to do, because we waste a lot of time in our youth, which I did. We never figured out what I want to do, and then we don't align what we are studying or doing with that passion. So the first thing is, we should really start to think what you want to be, what interests you, because you'll be doing that for the next 40-50 years of your life. So it should be something which you love. So try to explore that. Second is that it's very important to give back to the community. Once we start to earn and all, we have enough for ourselves, for our families. We owe, I mean, there are many people who are very unfortunate. They don't have parents, they don't have the financial thing. So if you have enough, rather than just spending it in ridiculous things, or maybe drinking it all away or something, spending in all bad things, try to give to the community. The feeling you get by giving back, there's no feeling like that. I mean, I have done a lot of work on this thing, and then the best feeling, the best moment which I remember are these only, where I've donated to renovate a school, where I've donated to to make somebody's house. These are the moments I remember, and I think these are the things which anyone will remember, like where you have of some use to others. So, and then of course, I mean, be a responsible citizen to your country, to the environment. These all factors are very important. So that's all.
Well, Swapnil, thank you for this. We are traveling on this route, and last 1 hour has been simply phenomenal, learning from you and getting to know more about your life.
Thank you.